I'm going to have to add published author to my business cards. So if you follow my social media stuff, or if you pay attention to the community tab on this channel, then you already know this, but I still wanted to do a video on it because it's kind of crazy to me. So I wrote a book. In and of itself, actually not that shocking. I think there's a fair number of YouTubers or people who dabble in various creative fields who either are in the process, are hoping to, or have, in fact, written a book. The difference is mine's actually not published, which that's the part that's insane to me. Now, it's self-published. I actually spent a couple of years shopping this book around and not finding anyone who went with it, to publish it. But I do want to talk about it all the same. So, given the nature of this particular book, I'm going to let my hair down. It's called Skirting Gender: Life and Lessons of a Cross-Dresser. Now, when I have let my hair down, I've generally pointed out that I have a fluid sense of gender, and I do identify it as gender fluid. I identify it as a cross-dresser for the majority of my adult life. And if you've ever checked out my other channel, which is Vera Wild, woo, right there, then you know a lot of that is geared as advice for cross-dressers, or my own experience as someone who was born male and I have times in my life when I want to present much more feminine. So that's yeah, it is so weird for me that I'm holding this in my hands. This is now available on Amazon, both as an ebook on the Kindle store and print on demand. You can get this in paperback. So it's going to be available through some other outlets as well, hopefully soon, because this is the first time I've ever self-published anything, so it didn't go quite as smoothly as I had wanted. I had been aiming for a launch, everywhere at the same time, but some of the preparatory work for some of the other outlets I'm setting up with ended up being a little bit more complicated, and the review turnaround period for Amazon turned out to be way shorter than I thought. So, and also I think I was half expecting them to come back and say, we can't publish it because you need to correct this again. This is formatted wrong or whatever. And then suddenly it was up live on Amazon. And I honestly, I kind of panicked. I was like, wait, what? So yeah, I don't want to go into too much detail about it, but it's a combination of two things primarily. It is a relaying of my own life experiences from my earliest memories of dabbling in any kind of gender variant behavior, through figuring myself out. And then there's a whole section on practical advice. Everything from general makeup tips, things about how to adjust your silhouette, walking in heels, on all sorts of things like that. And then also sort of talking broader topics like pronouns, the difference between gender identity and sexual orientation, and things along those lines. So it's all compiled in that together, and it feels really good to get it out. Like I said, I've been shopping this around for I think about 2 years, and I did get some interest. I got far enough that a few publishers did ask for a more detailed synopsis or some sample chapters. Ultimately, nobody wanted to move forward on it, and I hit a point where I'm like, well, I feel like there are people who could benefit from this, either because they themselves are going through some sort of period of questioning and they're looking for guidance, or someone who's been through something similar, or someone who knows somebody, has a loved one or a friend who has gender nonconforming behavior, and they want to understand that person that they care about a little bit better. Or maybe just the idly curious. I'd like to think that, even someone who doesn't have a direct connection to this kind of thing could still enjoy the book. And I also want to thank the people who kickstarted it, because the most significant expense in self-publishing is hiring an editor, which you need to do. And I think that's a hurdle for a lot of would-be self-published authors, is that you think, well, look, this is good. I know it's good. Like, no matter what it is, no matter what you're writing about, whether it's fiction, you need an editor. You need a professional editor who will look at it and streamline it and make sure that it works. And the editor that I worked with, her name's Sarah Brown, she was phenomenal. She really got what I was going for, and whenever she made a note, she didn't just tell me what to do. She said, well, here's what I'm thinking we should do instead, and here's why. And it was an astounding help. But that was a significant expense, because for the book, again, it's this thick. It's 244 pages. And this ran me about $1,000 to get professionally edited, because usually you're either paying by the page or paying by the hour, depending on how they work it. But that was about what I expected it to. So I actually ran a Kickstarter to fund being able to get a professional editor, and so that was successful, which was the first big, oh my god, this is really going to happen thing. There are a lot of other expenses involved in getting a book published that you don't necessarily think about, or that I didn't really get much of a heads up on. So, getting the cover design. Like, the picture I'd had for ages, that is in fact me. The picture I'd had for ages, and I knew I wanted to use it, but like actually getting this designed, I needed to bring somebody. Actually, Joel, my thumbnail guy, designed that for me. He did great, and I compensated him for that. If you want to sell it somewhere other than Amazon, you need to, it needs to be searchable with an ISBN number. Those you have to pay for. You want it to have a barcode, you got to pay for that. It's there's a lot of weird additional expenses that you don't think of, and there's a lot of hassle involved. But I'm really glad that it's out there. And it feels good to have it out there. And having now done that, not anytime soon, because like I'm tired from this experience in a good way. But having now gone through a self-publishing experience, it's put me in a position where I might finally feel comfortable to self-publish a novel. Because I have actually written a few. I've written a bunch of stuff that is basically done, that I've been shopping around, for however many years it's been done. I have a finished novel I've been shopping around for about 3 or 4 years. And I have short stories, some of which are fairly recent, some of which I've been shopping around forever. It's really tough trying to find an open submission things, and it takes forever to hear back from them. I have a 2-act play that I finished. To get a playwright, if you don't have connections with a theater troupe who will put up, basically you have to just submit to contests, and those cost you to enter. So I'm having now actually gone through the experience, I might in the next couple years be comfortable self-publishing one of the novels. We'll see. It's really weird having this done, because this is probably the first, like, I've been thinking about this or been working on this for years project that I've finished probably in 5 or 6 years. I'd say the last time I had like a real true, what I would consider a long-term project done, was shooting the first batch of scripted shorts actually for this channel. You go way back to the start of this channel. It's not me rambling at a camera. They were scripted shorts, and those I'd been working on for a very long time. And So, you know, that was like the last time that something that was more than just, oh, this'll, you know, this'll take me like 20 minutes to shoot and a half hour to edit, and then I'll put it up on the internet, or, you know, a week or two if it's more complicated. But something that I've been working on for years, this is the first time in a long time that something that involved has been finished. And it feels kind of amazing. And I'm hoping, because I have a number of long-term stuff I've had in various degrees of completion. And at least over the next couple of years, I'm going to try and wrap some of these up. I want to try and get one of these finished a year over the next couple of years. And I think I know what I want to try and get lined up and done for next year. I'm not going to say what it is, not here, because it's going to be involved. It's going to be a fair amount of work, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it off. But it's not the novel. I'm probably looking at a couple of years down the road on the novel, because that I'm unlikely to do a Kickstarter for, because I did feel with this book that it's something that is relatively unique. I mean, it's not the only book out there like that. I know there are others out there. I've read some of them, but it's something that there isn't a huge amount of product for. So I felt like that was something that I felt justified doing a Kickstarter for, because like I feel like there's a market that has a need for this. The novel that I wrote, it's a fantasy novel, appropriate age 12 and up. There's a lot of those, and I don't really feel justified preemptively taking people's money to put that out there. So that I want to try and for myself, but so that'll be a few years off just to be able to save up to do that. But yeah, this has turned into a general ramble about just sort of completing long-term projects, which just feels real good. And I feel like in some ways, if this will be the ultimate goal in terms of like building this channel and my Patreon support and things like that, is I would really like to be able to work more on things that are more involved and things that are more long term, because that's what's the stuff that's really hard for me to find the time to do. Because I mean, I work a full-time job. I work 40 hours a week. I'm cranking out a video a day. I'm raising a kid, and I'm managing all that okay. But, you know, finding time to complete something that takes a long time, that's hard. I mean, for a superficial comparison, it's a big part of why I don't play video games much anymore. Because most of the games that I like, you know, I was big into RPGs for a long time. You know, that's a lot of time to sink into that. I don't have 20, 30, 40 hours, you know, to sink in. And I'll have these huge gaps, and by the time I get back to it, I don't even remember what was going on before. So it's like, what's the point? And it can feel like that with long-term projects sometimes. But completing one, it feels good. And I'll put links down in the description for the book, for, you know, the digital edition and the physical edition. I mean, and if you're interested, check it out. This video is not intended as a sales pitch. I just kind of wanted to talk about it because this is a milestone for me, like a significant one, kind of in like not dissimilar to hitting 10,000 subscribers and then hitting 20. This was something I worked at and plugged away at, and kind of never thought I was gonna actually see done. I hoped, but I didn't think I would. And yet here we are, and I can hold this friggin' thing in my hand. Man, and if you're curious, there are pictures inside. It's all black and white because the cost bumps up so much if you do color pictures. But you know, so there's that as sort of visual aids and points of reference. And some of these pictures are ones that you know, were basically taken by me. Some were taken by my friend Sid from upstate New York. She also took the picture that's on the cover back when we both lived in New York City. I'm just rambling at this point because I'm really satisfied. I'm really happy that I got to see this through. And anyone who is interested in reading it and finding out more about me and about this side of my life, specifically, obviously, I mean, this is not a comprehensive autobiography. This is pretty specific to certain aspects of my existence. But anyone who's interested, who's curious, who wants to better understand me and possibly other people like me, that's what I wrote it for. So, thanks for indulging me, guys, as I just kind of wanted to ramble on in a very, very satisfied way. Hopefully not too, like, self-satisfied. I don't mean to be cocky, but I feel real good right now. So, thanks so much for watching. Whatever your thoughts on anything I said here, whatever they are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. There's a whole bunch of things to do. There's buttons and there's links and there's the Patreon and there's the links to the book. It's all going to be down in the description, plus other things besides. Check them out if you want to. And until next time, folks, just remember, you are the council. I just run the meetings, and this council is adjourned.